Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So viewers request that top 5 polyester string review I did. A lot of people watched. I was pretty shocked. So new request, top 5 multis, top 5 multifilaments. So I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna do that right now, okay? So again, you ask 1,000 people, you're gonna get 1,000 different answers. That's just how it is. Everybody's just very personable about what they like, what they use. But so everybody has an opinion. This is just my opinion. You know, from using all these strings for 30 years, the new ones coming out. But there's a consistency to this though. The good ones stay around, right? You'll see that today because a lot of these strings have been around for 20 plus years, okay? So let's get started. All right, I got 7 strings here, okay? So my 2 honorable mentions on the end here are more value strings. You know, I put these on my demos because they don't make a racket feel bad, but they won't make a racket feel wonderful either. So I don't want to give the misconception that, you know, the strings are going to make that racket feel really, really good. I just want them to get a nice neutral feel, you know, so that's why I like both of these. You know, these are my go-to strings for everyday use, what I call house strings, right? So number, let's say 7, right? The Gamma TNT 16 gauge, our number 1 selling string here, right? Great all-around string, right? I can blend this with any kind of hybrid. It'll feel good, right? I can go straight up with this and it'll feel good, okay? It's got a nice crisp feel, nice, good durability, right? It's just a good all-around string. Now I pulled 16 because that's what we sell most of on these is the 16 gauge, okay? Great string. Velocity is kind of like on the same wavelength as that Gamma. Now this has a crisper feel. When you strike the ball, it's crisp, like you know, and you feel slightly firmer than the TNT here. But it's good because you can feel it and you can feel the ball release. It's just a good feeling. You know, they also make a more expensive string called the Reflex MLT, right? It was like kind of a copycat Wilson NXT, and I didn't like it very much. It was kind of, I don't want to say flat, but a little more unpredictable, and it didn't feel as crisp as this string. So again, this is great straight up, great in a blend for a cross, or if you want, put it on a main and cross it with a poly. But good all around versatile string, okay? And that's pretty good value for this too. All right, let's start in on the top 5 now. Number 5, Wilson NXT. So this string has been around for, man, 20 some years, right? It's survived 20 some years, still I think number 1 string in the Wilson line. Probably number 1 string at a lot of the warehouse places. Now, why is it my number 5? Well, I want to say 10 years ago, it might have been a little longer. I feel that Wilson changed the blend on this string. Because I swear when I used to string, this string was different. It was a gummier texture. It lasted way longer. I actually found a pack of old string that was probably 15 years old, and I opened it up and I strung it and thinking that, I mean, it actually says NXT, right? This particular one is the Comfort. Yeah. The other one is called the NXT Power, which I don't like as much, but we can talk about that another day. So anyways, I found this pack of string and it said NXT on it, right? So I was stringing a racket with it and I'm like, I remember this, right? So this is actually, this particular packaging right now, this is easier to string. Back then, it had a gummier texture. And I want to say it was hard to break. I mean, even though there was a couple strands left on that main, you couldn't break it, even if you wanted to. So I feel like Wilson had changed the formula on this string and, in my opinion, made it worse. But still top 5. You know, definitely if they didn't change it, probably number 1, okay? But number 5. Gamma TNT Touch, right? Number 4, okay? Now, a soft, versatile string, straight up, like for those people who want a little more power, put a little more spin using a multi, you know, maybe your arm hurts a little bit, this is a good string. Very, very versatile. I could put this in almost anybody's racket and it'd probably be good, except for the big hitters that break strings in, you know, an hour. But very versatile string. This string's probably been around for over 10 years now. So again, stands the test of time. Soft string, okay? That's the TNT Touch version, okay? You can actually see in the picture like how the cross section looks, right? So you got a medium sized core with a bunch of multifilaments and then a wrap around, right? So that's what's giving it the feel. That's why they call it touch. Okay, that was number 4. Now, Tecnifibre number 3, NRG2. Now, I picked the 17 gauge because I sell more 17 gauge, right? It's a nice, soft, crisp string, okay, that has good response. So when I say crisp, I mean response. Like when it hits that string bed, it's boom, it goes off. It makes that nice sound. You can feel it. You can feel the pocketing. Ball takes off, right? So this has those characteristics. Tecnifibres usually makes good feeling, softer, powerful strings, okay? And this is, in no doubt, one of those. NRG, okay? All around, blend this, go straight up with it, great string. Number 2, X1 Biphase, right? This to me is probably the softest synthetic on the market, right? If you say gut is number 1, natural gut, this is right there. This would be number 1 in softest. You got arm problems and you don't want to use gut, I'd probably recommend this one to you, right? It's that soft. It actually plays very well too. It's not as crisp as this, but it definitely has more of a dampened feeling. So, you know, it's good. It's good all around, okay? This isn't the most durable string though, okay? So you kind of give up one for another. It's soft. You're saving your arm. You're getting a little more power, getting a little more feel, okay? Giving up a little more durability, right? X1 Biphase. I would say this string would be on most people's lists, right? Okay, so that's number 2. My number 1 is the Gamma Professional, okay? It's got that live wire technology, right? It's a soft multi-filament. It's kind of like this, but it's crisper, right? It doesn't quite absorb as good as this, but to me it has more reaction. Like when you swing the ball, it absorbs just enough and then shoots it out of there. So Great all around string. Okay, so if this was second to gut in terms of softness and feel, this would be number 2. Okay, but to me, because this is such a premium string in my mind, it just plays like a great multi. Now let's take a look at the cross section on this. So instead of having a core on this string, you got a bunch of multis centering it with multis and smaller size string threads that aren't micro size surrounding it, and then you got your nice little wrap holding it together, right? So that's what makes it feel good. So it's the bendability of the string and how it reacts when the ball strikes the string, right? So I chose 17 because that's going to play better, right? It's going to break faster, but it's going to play better. But either one, I mean, there's a whole line of these. There's a 16 gauge, which plays very well also. And there's a professional spin, which is, they put a wrap on it to roughen it up so that, it slides better for more spin. And they only make that in a 16. Okay, so that's my top 5 with 2 honorable mentions. Tell me what your top 5 is. Tell me why they're good. I know there's a ton more out there, but just from being in the industry for 30 some years, this is kind of my go-to stuff. Okay, thanks for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.